What's good, YouTube? It's my channel, Broad Street Bullies Fantasy Football. Like and subscribe. As you know, I will keep dropping more content. If you want to join pay or free leagues with me, just follow my page. Ask to join my page, Broad Street Bullies Fantasy Football on Facebook. I have a fantasy football community that currently has 74 members, and I am trying to build it and just bring in the best GMs to compete with me. But basically, look, this video is on M.Thomas. Basically, in the fantasy football community, there's a lot of people that still like M.Thomas. I have a person I know personally, well, not personally, but I know him, whatever, and he likes M.Thomas. It's one of his favorite people to draft in the drafts, and he has to have M.Thomas. And I think that the thing about M.Thomas is, like, what has he done in the last 2 to 3 years? I think his best year before, like, really injuries hit was like 2019. They say M.Thomas is the slant king and everything like that. My thing is, if I'm not mistaken, M.Thomas is about 31 years old. My thing is, I'm not taking any chances on M.Thomas. He's like, in my opinion, I would take more of a chance on Odell Beckham than I would on M.Thomas, because Odell Beckham has been injured, but at least we've seen him play. Like, he's gotten, like, some games, over the last 2 years or something like that. But M.Thomas is like, M.Thomas, in my opinion, he's not the top dog in New Orleans no more. So I don't see why people will want to draft him. Like, you got people like, Raheem Shaheed, Chris Olave, you got Wr1, Thomas, tight end, he be catching touchdowns and stuff like that. So it's like, me, I'm not even wasting a pick on M.Thomas. I just can't see myself doing it. Like, if he falls to the waiver wire, which I doubt he'll fall to the waiver wire, because sometimes in the fantasy football community, we're all guilty of being, like, over fascinated with certain players and trying to chase what they were in the past. And it's not the case now for M.Thomas. Like, if M.Thomas balls out this year and plays, let's say, 12, 13 games and makes me eat my words, and he returns to some type of fantasy relevance, I will not be mad, because chances are on most of my teams, I probably have somebody, a wide receiver on that team that is probably going to outdo M.Thomas, or at least have similar stats. So it's like with M.Thomas, I can't do it. Like, I know M.Thomas is, like, not going to be drafted on any of my teams. And if he is, it's probably going to be a free league, But when it comes to them pay leagues, them deep leagues, because I compete in 12, 14, and 16 team leagues. So for somebody like a deep league, maybe you might take a chance, have him as a depth piece. Maybe he might outperform what people are drafting him as. But I think people are drafting M.Thomas and expecting, or at least thinking, that he will return to that #1 wide receiver form. And me, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it. It's I didn't really look at his ADP and stuff, and like me, I said in the previous video, I'm not a person that really cares for ADP. ADP is only used, in my opinion, well, not in my opinion, but just facts, it's only used to show where a player might go. But being in drafts plenty of times, sometimes you draft in home leagues, sometimes you draft in just regular random leagues. ADP can be screwed up after the first round. You might have somebody that they got the first pick, and you like, yeah, they even going Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, and then out of nowhere they go Josh Allen, and then the next pick right there, he might not like Justin Jefferson as much, and he might go Jamar Chase, or the third pick might go Cooper Kupp, and then fourth pick might be Justin Jefferson. Like, you never know with how these drafts are going to play out and stuff like that. So, just in general, like, I don't see it from M.Thomas, and he's not like one of them guys that I'm going to be drafting on my roster. He's like sort of like Odell Odell, I see Odell as somebody that could possibly be maybe a flex play if he stays healthy, but I don't see it from Odell either. So I won't have a lot of stock in Odell and Michael Thomas, because I see them as similar players. The only difference is Michael Thomas has really nothing to show for over the last 2 to 3 years, where Odell has a little body of work. But even Odell's body of work, like when he's healthy, yes, he can really get you some points, get some catches. He might make that one hand catch he makes every now and then, or a spectacular catch. But from a fantasy football perspective, I'm not dealing with Odell. Yeah, he's on the Ravens, and yeah, they want to pass more, but that's all good. You hear the coaches, yeah, they want to pass more. Lamar says he wants to pass more. He wants to pass for 6,000 yards. But let's be serious. I don't think that Lamar Jackson is passing for 6,000 yards. If he passes for 6,000 yards, then you have a league winner at quarterback, because he'll be winning a lot of people championships just on passing yards alone. But I don't see that. You got to consider Lamar Jackson's injury history as well. And you got to consider also the fact that even though he says he wants to pass more, he's still going to do his running. And generally speaking, even though they want to be a more pass-heavy offense in Baltimore, generally that offense is built around Lamar. I don't think they're going to strip it to the bare minimum to where they take all them aspects that Lamar brings and that offense brings to help, free runners and have Lamar rush. I don't think they're going to strip all that away. Maybe Lamar's rushing floor drops down a little bit, but he's still going to be rushing the ball a lot. So where does that leave people like Odell? And we do know that you still got Rashad Bateman over there. You got now Zay Flowers, and also you still got Mark Andrews. So it was I think the Baltimore offense in general is going to produce some quality fantasy starts for people, especially from Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, and maybe Rashad Bateman is due for a true bounce back. He should be fully healthy going into training camp. But yeah. But as I say about Michael Thomas, is I don't want to waste a pick on that. Now, if it's late round, I'm talking about 12th, 13th round of a 15th round draft, and you just see that he happens to be there, yeah, you could probably draft him. I'm not saying you can't draft him. I'm just saying that I'm not drafting him. Even in the 13th to 14th round, I would say 13th round, because that's probably the last time, in a regular draft, before you draft kickers and defense, if your league has kickers and defense and stuff like that, that'd be probably 13th would be the last round you could probably get either a wide receiver, running back, tight end, or even a quarterback. So, but just me in general, I'm not drafting Michael Thomas. I'm staying away from him. I'm not chasing his previous seasons. I don't think he has it anymore. I think he can be a solid player in real life in terms of for the Saints, but in terms of that wide receiver one upside, I don't think that's him anymore. And I'd rather take a chance with an early pick and go Chris Olave, or if I'm going, late round pick, I'd rather go Raheem Shaheed over Michael Thomas. I think Raheem Shaheed has more potential. He's younger, less wear and tear. I think it's better to just do that. But that's my video. Like and subscribe. Comment if you don't agree or what you agree with, and follow my page on Facebook, Broad Street Bullies Fantasy Football. Follow it. Join the group. I'll accept you and everything. That's all I gotta say. Last thing, if you want to take a chance on Michael Thomas, you do you. Because like I said, trust your gut. And if your gut tells you Michael Thomas is going to break out, then all is well. Draft Michael Thomas and do that. But my gut tells me I'm staying the hell away from Michael Thomas. But that's all I got to say. Peace. I'm out.